Welcome back, everyone. I am Psycho Emerald. Today I'm back with another Marvel Legends series Disney Plus MCU action figure unboxing and review. Today I have Mr. Knight from Marvel Studios' Moon Knight. This is my fourth figure from the Infinity Ultron Build-A-Figure Wave. And yeah, I've been really enjoying this wave so far. All the figures have kind of had little issues with them, but for the most part, I've been really liking it and really glad to have these figures for my shelf, especially having this Mr. Knight Moon Knight Stephen Grant figure. I really liked the Moon Knight show, and I really loved both Stephen Grant and Mark Spector as characters. And I wanted to have, of course, this guy for the shelf, and I wasn't super keen on some of the things about the way it looked, which we'll get into later in the review portion, but I decided to eventually grab him off Hasbro Pulse because it looks pretty good, and I do want to have Steven on the shelf. So yeah, let's check out the box. We got the Infinity Ultron Build-A-Figure logo up there, some warnings, the Moon Knight logo right there, Marvel Legends series, the window where you can see the figure and the accessories, Disney Plus, Marvel Studios Moon Knight and Mr. Knight, and with this blue kind of background to the text there, Hasbro logo. It's cool artwork of Stephen Grant and Moon Knight in the suit, if you will. And then you've got the same style of artwork, but Steven is in a different pose there, but it does look really cool on both the side and on the back. And then we have Marvel Legends series Mr. Knight, and it says, an expert on ancient Egypt, Stephen Grant is thrust into action as Khonshu's avatar, Mr. Knight, relying on his keen mind to enact his master's will. There you have that. Then we have the Infinity Ultron BAF Wave, with the Infinity Ultron Build-A-Figure right there, and all the other figures in the wave. I have reviews up by now for Moon Knight, Hawkeye, and Kate Bishop, and a Sharon Carter review should come sometime in the future. And yeah, to kind of give you guys a little bit of a timestamp, right now I'm in the process of editing the Hawkeye review. Sorry, I was leaning close to the camera. You guys probably got some breathing sounds. Anyway, yeah, I'm in the process of editing the Hawkeye review, so that kind of tells you I'm a little bit behind. But yeah, I try to get one video out every week for you guys, so hopefully you guys are enjoying the more consistent content coming out. So yeah, that's pretty much everything on the box. You got the Marvel and Hasbro logo down there. So let's get the trusty unboxing knife and break Mr. Knight out of the packaging. So yeah, I mean, I don't really think of this as Mr. Knight. I think, you know, that's what he was called in the comics, I believe, but I find it more fun just to have this be Stephen Grant Moon Knight, because they never call him Mr. Knight in the show. So this is more just the Stephen Grant's version of Moon Knight, and you know, his idea of what the suit should look like. So yeah, let's get the hands out first, because they can be a pain sometimes because they got the tape. Oh, there it goes, both of them. We do have this really cool backdrop, which kind of looks like a night sky with the moon logo over top of it. It's kind of a somewhat translucent looking moon logo on there, which is cool. And then we can get his batons out here, which I still don't know exactly why he had them, but I mean, I guess the Khonshu armor is magical, so it can turn into a suit, this type of suit, and it can create batons out of nowhere, I guess. Don't think about it too much. All right, let's get the figure out. All right, so there we have Mr. Knight. Looking pretty good so far. Let me get all the packaging out of the way and we'll take a look at the figure. All right, so there's Stephen Grant, Mr. Knight, all out of the packaging, and I'm actually really loving this figure. And to think this is the only one out of the 4 I've gotten so far that I was thinking about passing on. And this ended up actually being my favorite out of the 4 of them. So yeah, let's check out the figure. It actually looks awesome. Like, the head sculpt looks fantastic. It kind of has this fabric texture to the mask, if you can see that. Looks really nice. Of course, you got the stitching with the moon right there, and then the eyes kind of have this blue to them that kind of makes them look like they're glowing, which is really nice. The whole jacket piece, I think, is brand new for this figure because it has a very unique looking jacket. I don't know if it's 100% accurate, but this is something it's close enough that I'm not really going to notice. If you look on the sleeves here, we have the buttons are kind of painted right there on the cuffs of the sleeves, which is really awesome. These are the same arms that we saw on Mobius. I think this is a suited body that they use a lot. But yeah, most notably for me, the only one in my collection that uses this same body or these same arms at least is Mobius. But yeah, they have pins. That's something I'm not a huge fan of, especially with how big these pins are over here. I definitely, with pinless, it's kind of hard to go back to the pins, to be completely honest, but I can tolerate them. I don't mind them that much. It's just, it is noticeable, and it's unfortunate because it would be cool if they created new pinless arms. But something I do like about these arms Same goes for with Mobius, I think I mentioned. They come all the way up, which is super great for poses. Especially action poses like this guy has. But yeah, the main thing is the arms look really small compared to the torso. Like the torso looks kind of big and bulky. The arms kind of look small and out of proportion. So proportion issues sometimes happens. But yeah, definitely not a huge fan of the way the arms look. But they are well articulated at least. The gloves look pretty cool. Pretty sure those are unique hands. And then you have the legs, which look pretty nice. Just kind of white suit pants, and then they got pinless joints, always super nice. I think they're pretty well articulated as well. They are a little stiff though. Then down here you have the shoes that kind of have these like mummy wrappings on them, but other than that, they kind of just look like flat bottom sneakers, which is kind of cool. And if you look here, silver buttons painted once again. Love that. And like I said, this vinyl jacket I think is unique for Mr. Knight, which is very nice. I think you can pop his head off too. Hopefully they do. I wish with one of these, either this one or with the Moon Knight, I wish came with a unmasked Oscar Isaac head. That would be awesome, and then you could use it for either one. That would be pretty sick, but they didn't include it, which is unfortunate, but it's still okay. But he comes with some swappable hands. He stands up a lot better than Moon Knight did, if you remember that review. I'm sorry if I've been leaning too close to the camera. I gotta remember not to do that, because then you hear me breathing, which is not very nice. But yeah, sorry about that. Anyway, we have the hands. Once again, like I said, I think they're unique. They kind of have a unique look to them. I haven't seen on any other figures, but then again, I don't have that many Marvel Legends. But correct me if I'm wrong, but I'm pretty sure these are new hands, but it doesn't really matter that much. They're hands, and they're good hands. They're functional hands. And hands are hands. It doesn't really matter if they've reused them, in my opinion at least. And then here we have the batons, which are super cool. I love them. They have this metallic finish to them. They have like the gold ends on them, and then they've even got hieroglyphics like sculpted in, which looks super, super cool. And they fit really nicely into these gripped hands. So if we take the fist hands out, here you have him with the grip hands. So if you take the batons and put them in the grip hands, they fit in really nicely. Don't feel like they're slipping out or anything like that. It's loose enough that it's easy to put them in, but it's not so loose that it feels like they're falling out. And then he's got, like I said, the double joints on the elbows here, super well articulated. And so you can do some really cool stuff with this figure. So yeah, I'm really loving this figure. It's got a lot of great details in it with the sculpt and, you know, all the different wrinkles in the outfit to make it look realistic. The different silver paint applications on the buttons is a really nice touch, and I love the head sculpt as well. And it has some pretty good articulation. So let me get him in a cool pose, and I'll give you guys a closer look at Stephen Grant, Mr. Knight. All right, so there's Mr. Knight all posed up, and actually, never mind. I gotta go grab Mark. Ugh. Keep doing this to myself today. All right, so there is Stephen Grant and Mark Spector, both all posed up. So I'm super happy to have both these figures, because I really did like the Moon Knight show, and they do look really good together. I wonder why we never see them both at the same time in the show. Okay, that was a dumb joke. But yeah, here we have Mr. Knight next to Moon Knight, Mark Spector, and they both are really nice. They both have little quirks with them. I prefer this one. I think it just looks better overall. The inaccuracies are less noticeable, and I really can't stand how big they made the crescent darts. I think that's pretty annoying, but yeah, so I ended up preferring this one overall, but I do really like both of them, and I'm really happy to have both of them represented on the shelf, because I did really like the Moon Knight show. So yeah, this is, after this figure, I'm going to be getting the Sharon Carter. So I don't know when that one's going to show up, because I haven't ordered her yet, but I am going to get that, and that'll be my last figure I actually get from this wave, because I'm passing on the Ms. Marvel and the She-Hulk. But I am wanting to build the Build-A-Figure, so I will be getting the Sharon Carter, and then I'll be finding a way to get the head and the torso and the right leg, I think, are all that I'm going to need after that if I'm not getting Ms. Marvel and She-Hulk. But anyway, yeah, it's going to be a much shorter series than the Captain America Flight Gear Build-A-Figure, which I actually happen to have right here. I was just recording a review for John Walker Captain America, so I happen to have this here. This was a really fun series to do back in the day, like last year, was it? So this one has been pretty fun so far as well, and I'm excited to build that Build-A-Figure. So I hope you guys have been enjoying it. If you did enjoy this review, please leave a like. I'd really appreciate that. Also, if you like Marvel Legends figure reviews and you haven't yet subscribed, please consider subscribing in order to join the Knights of Mischief, because I do a lot of MCU Marvel Legends stuff on my channel, and I do like Spider-Man stuff. Pretty much whatever I'm adding to my collection, I will do a video on. So if you're into that, please consider subscribing. I'd really appreciate that. We just recently made it to 300 subscribers again. We'll see if we stay there this time, but thank you guys so much for getting me there again. And yeah, I really appreciate all your support. Hope you guys found this review helpful. Hope you found it enjoyable, and I'll see you all in the next one. Goodbye.